In this video, I explain hydraulic shaper circuit. So first we understand the few basic points of the shaper machines, and then after in the detail we study the hydraulic circuit for the shaper machines in the detail. So first we move towards the introductions. Shaping is a machining process in which cutting tool is reciprocate on the stationary workpiece. Okay, so that thing you already studied in a manufacturing subject. Okay, here you see that the cutting tool is mounted on the tool post. Tool post is mounted on the clapper box. Clapper box is mounted on the cross slides, and the cross slide is mounted on the ramp. And we know that ramp of the shaper machine is reciprocates. And here the table is provided. On the table workpiece is mounted, and these workpiece are stationary. So same thing is you already know that the cutting tool cuts the metal by shearing actions. Okay, the cutting tool is fitted in a tool post. So here you see this is the tool post. Cutting tool is mounted. Okay, this tool post is mounted on the clapper box. Clapper box is mounted on the cross slides, and the cross slide is mounted on the ramp. Okay, and the reciprocation of the ramp cause the tool to cut the metal. Means the reciprocation moment of the ramp is also supplied to the cutting tool because all the component is mounted on the ramp. Okay, so with the ramp cutting tool is also reciprocates, and these reciprocations of the ramp cause the tool to cut the metals. The hydraulic shaping machine is shown in a figure. Its ramp is mounted on a double rod and double acting cylinders. Now here you see this is the ramp of the shaper machines. Okay, and this ramp of the the ramp of the shaper machine is mounted on a double rod and double acting cylinders. Okay, why it is double rod? Because on both the side of the piston you see that rod is provided. So this is the one rod, this is the second rod. That's why it is called as the double rod. And double acting cylinder, DAC means double acting cylinder. Why it is double acting cylinder? Because on both the side of the piston the inlet and outlet are provided simultaneously. Means oil is enter from this side, leave from this side, oil is also enter from this side and leave from this side. Okay, that's why it is called as the double acting cylinder. The cutting stroke of the ramp shall be slow and return stroke shall be fast. Okay, so we know that in a shaper machine the cutting stroke is done at the slow speed and the return stroke is idle. Means during the return the cutting tool does not do any cutting. Okay, so return stroke is generally called as the idle stroke, and we do the idle stroke quickly to save the working times. Okay, for this we can choose the meter out circuit. Okay, in other type of the quick return shaper machines and that is a something setting is done, that's why the return stroke is faster. Okay, but in hydraulic circuit if we need to do the return stroke quickly or a faster, then we need to choose the meter out circuits. Okay, so we are already studied the speed control circuit in which we are studying the three types: meter in, meter out and the bleed up circuits. Okay, for the shaper machines we are selecting the meter out circuit for the retraction strokes. Okay, how it is selected that I discuss later on during the working of the hydraulic shaper circuits. Now before moving ahead, I request to like the video and subscribe my channels for watching the more video related to the OHP and other subject of the mechanical engineering. For more video, link is provided in playlist as well as in a card, and I also request to visit the playlist for watching the various subject. Now continuous reciprocations of the ramp can be obtained either by using the double solenoid DCV or by using the double pilot DCV. DCV means directional control valves. Okay, why directional control valve is required? Because that is a reciprocation motion. Means in this cylinder the extensions and retractions are going on. Okay, so this extension and retraction we need to supply the oil from the different side. Okay, for extension we need to supply the oil from this side, for retraction we need to supply the oil this side. Okay, so this is controlled by using the directional control valve. Okay, and how to operate the directional control? For operating the directional control, that is a number of ways. Okay, manual method is also available, but we need to do automatic continuous operations. Okay, for that we are required to choose the double solenoid DCV or by using the double pilot DCV. So here you see that we are selecting the solenoid type system. Okay, S1 and S2, and when we choose the solenoid operated directional control valve, we need to use the limit switch LS1 and LS2. So we need the limit switches if solenoid directional control valve is chosen, and we need to use limit valve if pilot operated DCV is chosen. Pilot operated DCV means some oil is drained from the some component and it is supplied to the directional control valves, and the position of directional control valve is changed. Okay, so limit valve is also one type of the directional control valve, in that we are used the 3x2 directional control valves as the limit valves. But for simplifications, here we use the solenoid operated directional control valves, and here the two solenoid is there. That's why we need to use the two limit switches LS1 and LS2. In the above example, double solenoid DCV and limit switches are used. So we already know that with the limit solenoid DCV we need to use the limit switches 1 and limit switch 2. 4x2 double solenoid DCV is used with two limit switches on either end of the piston rod. Means on a both side of the piston we install the limit switch LS1 and LS2. The piston rod, while reciprocating, actuated these limit switches, which in turn actuated the 4x2 DCV. Means when the piston rod is done the reciprocating motion, at that time they actuate means operate, or they press the limit switches. Okay, and what happen when limit switch is pressed? We know that the limit switch is pressed with limit switch supplied some electric current to the solenoids. Okay, so they are connected with this wire. Okay, and when these limit switches operate, they are further actuated or in turn actuates the directional control valves. Okay, so actuated means operate. So piston rod is operate the limit switch and limit switch is operate the directional control valve, and the directional control valve is operate, then the oil supply position is the change. Okay, so thus the automatic reciprocations of the ramp is achieved. So in a first position, so this diagram is given for the first positions. Okay, so in a first position, oil is flow from P to A and B to T. So here you see that the P port is connected with A port and this B port is connected with the T port. Means oil coming from the pump is supplied to P port. From the P port it is coming A ports. Okay, and oil is coming here. Now oil have the two options, either pass through the flow control valves and from the check valve. Okay, but we know that it is the meter out circuit. Okay, meter out means oil is flowing in downward direction from the flow control valves. Okay, that's why it is called the meter out. But here the oil is supplied to the actuator, means it is the input is going on. Okay, so when the input is going on, the input is supplied from the check valve. From the check valve oil is come here and then after supplied it to the double rod end type double acting cylinder. Okay, so here it is written this flow is through the check valve. Hence the piston is moved with the faster rate, because we are not able to control the flow rate of the oil. And when we are not able to control the flow rate of the oils, they are done at the faster speed. Okay, and when we control the flow rate, the speed is reduced. Okay, at the same time some oil is present on the right sides of the piston, is supplied to the B port, and from the B port it is supplied to the T ports. Okay, and when the extension stroke is completed, what happen? They press the limit switches and limit switch is supplied electric current to the solenoid, and solenoid is change the positions, and the directional control valve is come on to the second positions. Okay, so when the directional control valve is come on the second positions of the 4x2 DCV, oil is flow from P to B and A to T. So here you see that the P port is connected with this B port and the A port is connected with this T port. Okay, so oil is supplied from P to B. Okay, from the B port oil is supplied to the rod end port, means on the right sides. Okay, because now in this case both are the rod end port, so I just confused. And so we are considered that is the right side of the piston and this is the left side of the pistons. Okay, so oil is supplied to the right side of the pistons. They apply some force on the piston and piston is start to move from right to left. It is called as the retractions of the stalks. Okay, and oil is returned from the left side of the piston is have the two options from the check valve and flow control, and we know that it is the meter out circuit for retractions. So this is the outlet for the retraction stalk. So this flow is here written is that this flow is through the flow control valves. Okay, and it is the control flow. So in a flow control we are reduce the flow rate. That's why we are able to control the, or we are able to reduce the speed during the forward stalks. Okay, hence the piston is moved with the control speeds. Okay, so during the retractions the piston is moving forward, so it is the working stalk, and during the idle stalk the cylinder is going on the extension stalks. The stalk length and the positions of the stalk can be easily adjusted by adjusting the positions of the limit switch. Now suppose the workpiece size is the smaller, sometimes the workpiece size is larger. According to that size of the workpiece, we need to control the stroke length, and the stroke length can be controlled by changing the position of the LS1. We are able to change the position of LS1 this side. Okay, so depending on the size of the workpiece, we are adjusting this limit switches. And the speed of cutting stroke can be adjusted by adjusting the flow control valve opening. So this is the symbol of flow control valves. Okay, so we are able to increase or reduce the speed of the stroke by adjusting the flow control valve, means by adjusting the flow control valve opening. Flow control valve opening is increased, then the flow is occur at the faster speed. We are reducing the flow size, then the flow is reduced. Okay, that's why we are able to control the speed of the cutting stroke. So thank you for watching this video. If you learned something, then like the video and subscribe my channels for watching the more video related to OSP and mechanical engineering, and don't forget to share with your